For pharmaceutical industry, the core focus is on bringing medicines, the innovative medicines, for delivering better patient outcomes. Now, as you know, the patient outcomes depends on several aspects. Of course, it depends on the kind of health facilities where the patient has gone, the medical advice, the medicines being prescribed and used by the patients, and also one factor which is often not discussed very often is the really underlying nutritional sufficiency. Now, underlying nutritional sufficiency in a simple manner, if needs to be explained, in recent COVID times, if you look at along with several other medicines, the doctor gave or prescribed vitamin C, or in many cases zinc. Now, vitamin C and zinc has a role in enhancing your immunity. In some way, these are nutritions. These nutritions play a role in enhancing your immunity so that your body can fight with the infections better. So in overall treatment, if you would have seen, vitamin C and zinc becomes a core part. Though they are nutritions, they become a core part. And hence, if you look at in many conditions like this, be it even cancer, when patients undergo the chemotherapy, the body really gets weak, debilitated. In medical condition, it is called as cachexia. Cachexia, to recover from it, there is nothing but a nutritional requirement is there. So in several cases, when it comes to health outcomes, nutrition form a core part. And hence, for pharmaceutical companies or pharmaceutical industry, in my mind, nutraceuticals and nutritions are not only adjacency, but in many cases they are core part, and they need to be treated. They need to be treated that way. I think the answer to this question lies in what problem you are really trying to solve, or what space you really want to address. There are two classical spaces in nutraceutical I can see. One is if you are focusing on preventive health, or I would say wellness aspect, or you can focus on patients who are already under disease conditions and wanting to get recovered. So in first space, you can clearly see there are consumer nutritions, and other space you can clearly see there are clinical nutritions. So as a company, if you want to solve the first problem, then of course your model becomes a lot more relevant through DTC, direct to consumer. In the second aspect, your model becomes a lot more relevant through ethical marketing. Typically, we have seen companies which are very strong in ethical marketing, having an existing established base, they have tendency to think this as core strategy, and they also want to bring solutions around that. Whereas companies which are strong in consumer health, they think about wellness as an aspect and bring solutions around that. But nothing stops companies to take a contrarian strategic view. If I am an ethical company and I believe that the prevention or wellness is a big space, then launching that type of a portfolio, launching that type of products makes more sense if they strongly believe that. But however, if you are launching or you are bringing the medicines which are targeting wellness, you may not, or your classical ethical marketing infrastructure which you are using for your selling your medicines may not be adequate for that. In that case, your direct to consumer becomes an integral part of your overall strategy. You might start with some level of physician endorsement or prescriptions based on the type of products you have, but ultimately you will have to go directly to the consumers if you are targeting a wellness space. And hence, I think the answer to that question about what is the right strategy, I think it really at the core depends on what kind of space you want to address, and for that space to address fully, what is the right business model to have. Each model has its pluses, minuses, so there is no one right answer, but based on the choice you are making, you have to select a right model and optimal model. See, if you look at deeply what nutraceuticals are in some way or the other, as I said previously about preventive as well as kind of treatment options. Nutraceuticals, when they are taken above certain kind of dosages, dosage forms or dosages, basically daily dose requirement, they actually fall in the realm of medicines and drugs, and this is how even regulatory wise they are classified. If they fall, their daily consumption is below certain level, then they go more as kind of preventive therapies and go more as OTC, right? So I think both in my mind, when it comes to the treatment or when it comes to the prevention, it is many times differences between the dosing, right? Many times that happens. What is the right dosing for you? Who will decide that, right? The best stakeholder to decide that is ultimately the healthcare professional. And whether you are kind of using it for prevention or wellness, or kind of just as a casual consumption, or even for treating certain disease conditions, I think the healthcare professionals' advice in my mind is must. So before you are starting any type of medications, don't go for self-medication. I think we have seen in many times there is a great tendency to kind of start because somebody has told that, look, I have done this, it is helping me for last month, I'm feeling healthier, I'm feeling better. And a lot of time this word of mouth has a lot of influence. Your friends, your colleagues, your relatives, their experiences, I think many times we are driven by that, or we are influenced by that. But please understand, every person's health and body is different, so each person require very different type of kind of health solution. So no one solution can fit all, and hence before kind of any initiation of your, whether it's preventive or treatment, I think healthcare practitioners interventions or advice is necessary for this. And hence I would strongly believe that nutraceuticals, even for proliferation of nutraceuticals and for better benefits of nutraceuticals, it can be achieved through healthcare professionals interventions. The role of nutraceuticals, I don't think it requires a lot of justification. Many of us know the role of nutraceuticals in some way or the other. Despite that, the nutraceuticals, kind of usage has not, kind of gone up to that level. And one of the reasons for that, I would like to believe that there is a lack of conviction in many people's mind. Many times it's a very long duration of therapy. Many times we don't know what to expect from when we take these nutraceuticals. Somebody needs to bridge that gap in my mind, and that gap can be bridged by generating evidence. In pharmaceutical industry, why somebody takes paracetamol when there is a fever? Why somebody takes certain antibiotic when there is an infection? Because some pharma company has done research over years on large set of patients to prove that in certain disease conditions, if you take a medicine in certain quantities, it will help you cure in certain time frame. So the research which has gone in pharmaceutical has not gone to that level in nutraceutical. And when I say that, I mean we need to generate more and more evidence on each of these nutraceutical which we use, be it kind of vitamin C, be it calcium, be it any other nutraceutical, or maybe a concoction of many micro and micronutrients. We need to have well-defined dosage regimens, very clearly kind of identified, and plus we need to have studies or evidences generated on those dosages to clearly define what health outcomes one can expect through this. So this is a big gap at the moment. I can see many times we have kind of seen the citations that you take this nutraceutical because this has some level of benefit shown in some studies, some remote studies. But if you back this with a kind of properly designed and conducted clinical trial to generate that evidence, this will really help kind of building that conviction for healthcare professionals, for consumers, and for pharmaceutical companies as well. Once that is done, then I think a lot of just the way the pharmaceuticals are kind of proliferated, nutraceutical can also be kind of taken to much larger scale with lot more conviction. The biggest, in my mind, the gap at this stage is the evidence on your medicine or on your nutraceutical which you want to kind of bring on the market. In my mind, I think nutraceutical has really bright future in our country. We have seen that, as I said previously, we have seen that in COVID times, the awareness of having health and wellness has gone up substantially. People are taking health very seriously, and hence I think you would have seen the acceptance of diagnosis has gone up, acceptance of vaccines have gone up, and accordingly, when it comes to kind of going for better health and health outcomes, acceptance of nutraceuticals is going to go up. Again, this is on a kind of need side. Even from a supply side or demand versus supply side, there is a lot of things. I think there are a lot of things even nutraceutical companies, ethical nutraceutical companies needs to kind of get into. First thing, I think first and foremost thing is in my mind is standardization of dosing, standardization of claims, because a lot of kind of nutraceutical companies make a lot of claims which may be supported, may not be supported by evidence, that really create that vagueness in doctor's mind, in a patient's mind, whether to take, not to take. I think we need that level of standardization. We need evidence generation so that these nutraceutical can be widely used. We also need kind of some level of I would say convergence between the channels. Classically, the consumer products, they are sold in a different channel. Pharmaceutical products are sold in a different channel. We need some level of convergence of channels. I think all of these, as we progress, once they start kind of evolving, you will see lot consumption of nutraceuticals going up. In Western countries, you will see the consumption of nutraceuticals far higher. The awareness is far higher. India as a country catching that wave, that I would say catching up that need, and more consumers and patients are getting aware of the role of nutraceuticals and how they can be optimally used. So as kind of as we are growing company, as we are growing country, as we are growing economy, a lot of things are changing, and I think this one thing will also change, and nutraceutical is likely to be a kind of big space in India.